Title: My wife threw me out of our home after completely believing her daughter's fabricated stories about me without even asking for my side. 3 weeks later, she called asking if I'd reflected on my behavior and was ready to apologize. Start: I knew the call was coming before the phone even lit up. 3 weeks of silence tends to make liars nervous. 3 weeks of distance makes manipulators slip. Her name flashed across the screen. Michelle. And for a moment, just a breath, I remembered the woman I married. The warmth, the laugh, the promises. Then her voice cut through everything. Have you reflected on your behavior? Are you ready to apologize? Apologize. The word sat in my ear like a dare. I didn't tell her I'd already lined up the attorney, already signed the papers, already finished what she had started the night she threw me out without even asking for my side. Instead, I told her I'd stop by. The memory of that night still bites. Her daughter, Lena, stood behind her with folded arms, eyes narrowed, like she had been preparing for this performance. Michelle's face was red, not with anger, but with certainty. Certainty that every lie Lena told was true. Certainty that the man she married was suddenly a threat. I want you out, she said. Just like that. No question, no pause, no hesitation. My bags were already by the door, packed by hands that once traced my skin lovingly. I walked out without a word. Not because I was defeated, but because something snapped into place, something cold, measured, and patient. I left as a man who understood he wasn't being asked to defend himself, I was being dismissed. Michelle and I had a good marriage, or at least that's what I believed. For years, I held us together with small acts, morning coffee in her favorite mug, quiet drives on Sundays, touching her back as I passed, reminding her that she had someone in her corner. And Lena, I tried with her. God knows I did. She was 15 when I met her, an age where stepfathers are rarely welcomed. But I learned her preferences, encouraged her art, sat through talent shows with a camera she never thanked me for. She was always distant, yes, but hostile? No, not until 3 months ago. That's when her stories started. Small things at first, twisted meanings, warped retellings, manufactured tension. Michelle believed her, every single word, because mothers protect their children, even when they're protecting them from a ghost. The truth didn't come to me gently. It landed harshly, like a slap I didn't see coming. A neighbor texted me a screenshot, Lena bragging to her friend group about how easy it was to get rid of him and how she was finally going to get her mom to herself. She's so gullible, LOL. That was the line that shifted me from pain to planning. I read it over and over until my pulse slowed into something steady and dangerous. I wasn't just being pushed out of my home, I was being erased from my own marriage through a child's manipulation. And Michelle didn't even blink before believing it. That was the betrayal. I didn't confront them. People like Lena don't confess when cornered. They escalate. So I gathered. Screenshots, messages, saved audio from hallway arguments she didn't know I heard. Financial records tied to the house I paid for. The prenup she had forgotten existed. Airtight, attorney-reviewed, ironclad. And I spoke to the best divorce attorney I could find. When you've been betrayed, silence becomes strategy. Distance becomes preparation. Every day of those 3 weeks, I sharpened the plan until it cut clean. When I walked up to the door, attorney at my side, I felt nothing. No anger, no longing, just clarity. Michelle opened the door with that expectant expression, like she was waiting for me to crawl back. Behind her stood Lena, arms crossed again, triumphant. "Are you ready to apologize?" Michelle asked. I nodded. Not because I meant it, because I wanted her to step aside enough for the attorney to join me on the porch. Michelle's smile faltered the moment she saw her. "What is this?" My voice came out calm, smoother than I felt. "This is me apologizing for not doing this sooner." I handed her the envelope. Thick, final. Her eyes scanned the first line, and her face drained. "Divorce?" Lena stepped forward, furious. "You can't do that! Mom, don't let him!" But Michelle wasn't listening to her. She was staring at the prenup clause, highlighted neatly inside. The one that said she gets nothing if the marriage ends due to verified deception. The evidence was clipped behind it. Lena's bravado cracked first. She snatched the papers from her mother's hands, flipped through them, saw the screenshots, saw her own words staring back at her. Her lips trembled. Then she broke. "I didn't mean," she choked out. "Mom, I just wanted—" She collapsed into sobs so violent the neighbors stepped onto their porches. Michelle's face twisted into something indescribable, shock, horror, humiliation all at once. "You lied?" she whispered, voice splintering. Lena cried harder, babbling excuses that dissolved into incoherent pleas. I watched Michelle crumble as the truth hit her. She had thrown out her husband, her partner, her foundation, because her daughter wanted attention? She looked at me with wet, pleading eyes. "Can we talk about this? Privately? Please. I didn't know." "Exactly," I said. "You never asked." And that was the moment the power shifted. Not because I won, but because she finally saw what she had thrown away. I walked down the steps without looking back. The attorney followed in silence. Behind me, Lena's sobs blended with Michelle's frantic attempts to console her, to piece together the ruins of their own making. My revenge wasn't dramatic. It wasn't loud. It wasn't cruel. It was simply the truth, revealed at the perfect moment, when the weight of consequences fell exactly where it belonged. As I reached my car, I felt the first breath of real peace I had taken in weeks. Betrayal changes you, but justice restores you. And some doors, once closed, should never be reopened.